For those of you who don't know me, I'm Debbie Black, the police chief for the Glendale Police Department. I appreciate you being here today as we recognize the accomplishments of 10 police department employees as they are promoted to new positions of leadership within our organization. I would like to recognize and thank the following dignitaries for joining us here today. The Mayor of Glendale, Jerry Wires. No? Okay. Councilmember Manny Martinez. Councilmember Gary Sherwood. City Manager Brenda Fisher. And Acting Assistant City Manager Julie Frizzoni is also here with us. I would now ask everyone to stand for the posting of the colors by the Glendale Police Department's Honor Guard and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Post. Post. Cover. Reset. Up.
Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here. Up. The promotees of the Glendale Police Department. Honor Guard. Reset. Up. Here. Up. That. Face. Work. March.
Thank you. You may be seated. This is a very special day for the 10 individuals being promoted, for their families, and for the entire organization. These promotions celebrate the achievement of career goals and demonstrate the willingness of those being promoted to assume greater responsibility and to lead others to accomplish our mission. Promotion is something that's earned, not given. It requires time, talent, commitment, and participation in a very competitive selection process. So let me share some information about those being promoted today. The 9 men and 1 woman collectively have over 135 years of experience with the Glendale Police Department. They come from assignments in virtually every function of the department: special operations, investigations, K-9, SWAT, neighborhood response, and patrol. We even have 1 individual who is giving up his motor. Many of you know what a sacrifice that is. All 10 have advanced education. 7 have bachelor's degrees. 1 has a master's degree. 3 of the 10 have military service as well, and 2 continue to serve in the reserves today. While hard work and dedication of these individuals brought them to this special day, they would be the first to tell you they didn't get here on their own. You see, they also possess humility. They recognize they could not have achieved this success without the encouragement of the other people in the room today: their friends, their family, coworkers, and mentors. On behalf of those being promoted, thank all of you for your ongoing support. As part of the ceremony today, we have invited a sergeant, a lieutenant, and a commander to provide a few words of wisdom to extend a welcome to those being promoted to that rank. I would now like to turn the podium over to Sergeant Ernie Ochoa to address those being promoted to the rank of sergeant.
Thank you, Chief. Good afternoon and congratulations to y'all. I remember not too long ago, I was a newly promoted sergeant, and I often wondered myself if I had what it took to be an effective leader. I knew I had the experience and training that I felt I can go in any situation, police style, and be able to overcome it. But I wasn't too sure about my leadership style and being out there and taking charge of new folks. I'm one of those people, excuse me. I need that. I'm one of those people that learn from watching others. I've had the opportunity to have some pretty good leaders here, some supervisors. So I've picked up some traits and characteristics that I want to share with you guys today. I felt that some of the things that they passed along on to me made me not only an effective leader, but a pretty good sergeant. First thing is adaptability. I think you guys have to learn to adapt. There's always going to be changes in this department, change in leadership. There's going to be changes in policies, changes in defensive tactics, and your ability to adapt to that, it will depend on how effective you're going to be as a leader. So you have to learn to adapt, because if you don't, you'll just be standing by while the department moves forward without you. Not only do you have to accept the change, but you have to believe in it. And that's one of the greatest challenges that you'll find, is getting those that are below you to sell that change in leadership or whatever the change may be. That's the biggest challenge that I had. But if you're not sincere about it, your officers will see right through you, and then they won't be part of the change as well. Some changes are very easy to sell, some are more difficult, but it's going to take you guys, you sergeants, to be able to make that change. Always ask the right questions as well. A lot of times you'll find that by asking the right question, it's actually the answer that management's looking for. So don't be afraid to step up and ask why you're doing something. There's many nights I've sat in Commander Anderson's office and asked him why we're doing something, and once I got a clear explanation of why, it was easier for me to sell it to the officers. As a sergeant, you're going to find yourself in charge of many different personalities, often wondering what style of leadership is going to work. You have to be able to adapt your leadership style. You have to be able to change different styles with different personalities. I quickly learned that what we learned in the military doesn't always work here in the police department. So use those experiences you have, but be willing to adapt. We've all heard of accountability. You guys heard that before. Hold those accountable. And I often ask myself, what does that exactly mean? I think we can all take a little bit different of what that exactly means. Holding someone accountable to me means not necessarily, punishing them or bringing an investigation on them, but just making them aware that their conduct is not proper. So don't be afraid to step up and correct it. And don't forget to hold yourself accountable. A lot of times, that's the easy thing, is we tell these folks to do what we say, but then, we don't do as what we say. We need to do more as I do. Don't be afraid to lead by example, and don't be afraid to not know everything. That's the important thing. You're not going to know everything. And confront your peers when possible. A lot of times I've seen sergeants, newer sergeants, older sergeants, see something happen and they don't take the time to correct that. And I think you're doing a disservice to your officers. We're all sergeants, we're all supervisors. You need to correct it when you see it. Work as a team. The easiest thing is to get to know your people. And that's the fun that I have in this job. Get to know all your officers. Know where they come from, know their education, their experiences, their background, their family. I know a sergeant that even knows their birthdays. So, and it takes time to celebrate them. So get to know your people. It'll help you become an effective sergeant. Know their strengths, know their weaknesses. A lot of times you'll be given a project and you may have someone on your squad that is very strong in that or has a background in that, not police related. So getting to know them will make your job a lot easier. Also know their goals internally and externally. What drives these officers? What is it about them? Is it their personal life? Is it their love for the job, their love for the family? Officers have to feel valued by you as a sergeant. Give them clear expectations. That's pretty easy. If you set your parameters, you can just sit back and watch these guys be creative, and it makes your job a whole lot easier. And in closing, remember to keep your family a priority. Your family sacrificed a lot of things for you and will continue to sacrifice a lot of things for you in your career. You got to remember your kids, your children, your spouses are used to having you home on weekends and at night, and that's going to change. So some of them may not understand that, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's worth the sacrifice, trust me. And I encourage you all to support each other as sergeants. We need to help each other accomplish that same goal. Remember, we're all there, we're all in this together, so good luck to y'all.
Trust me, that's not an easy thing to do. Thank you so much, Ernie. He's our newest K-9 sergeant, so congratulations to him on that assignment as well. Okay, so now we get to meet those being promoted to sergeant. As I call your name, if you would just please step forward, you know where you're supposed to go. Azzedine Azouz. Azzedine has been with our department for 7 years. He has enjoyed assignments in the Civil Disturbance Unit and as a defensive tactics instructor, and is currently serving as a patrol officer. Sergeant Jeff Dawkes. Jeff has been with our department for 11 years and has enjoyed assignments in patrol, the Civil Disobedience Unit, Public Information Office, and the Property and Violent Crimes Units. He is currently serving as a detective in the Violent Crimes Homicide Unit. Donald LeBrant. Donald has been with our department for 18.5 years, which includes 3 years in patrol, 1 as a field training officer, 14.5 years in the Neighborhood Response Squad. He has also been a member of our SWAT team for 10 years. Matthew Moody. Matthew has been with our department for 6 years. He has enjoyed assignments as a patrol officer, Grenadier officer in the Mobile Field Force, and is a member of the Honor Guard. Robert Moreno. Robert has been with our department for 15 years and enjoyed assignments in patrol, criminal investigations, and the Traffic Bureau as a DUI motor and as a day shift motor officer where he currently serves. Scott Waite. Scott has been with our department for 7 years. Scott has enjoyed assignments as a field training officer, as a Grenadier officer in the Mobile Field Force, as a property crimes detective, and is currently serving as a detective in the Violent Crimes Unit. I will now administer the oath of office.
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona.
The Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
And defend them against all enemies, foreign or domestic.
And defend them against all enemies, foreign or domestic.
And that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the position of police sergeant.
And I will faithfully
Police sergeant in the Glendale Police Department.
Glendale Police Department.
Congratulations.
I would ask the family members invited to participate in the pinning ceremony to please join your sergeant in the front. Sergeant Azuz's badge is being presented by his wife, Holly. Sergeant Dawkis's badge is being presented by his wife, Brandy. Sergeant LeBrant's badge is being presented by his wife, Evelyn, and sons Jacob and Colton. Sergeant Moody's badge is being presented by his wife, Carrie. Sergeant Moreno's badge is being presented by his girlfriend, Melanie. And Sergeant Waite's badge is being presented by his wife, Claire. I present to you the Glendale Police Department's newest sergeants. Thank you. At this time, I'll turn the podium over to Lieutenant John Wolf, who will address those being promoted to lieutenant.
Lieutenants connect the command level with the line level. LT is a do-it-all position requiring leadership, experience, and versatility. You might find lieutenants as patrol responders, taking calls and making backups, commanding critical incidents, leading major investigations, planning operations and mega events, representing the department at gatherings that are large, small, formal, or informal, serving as the ranking on-duty officer for the police department at night and on the weekends, serving in command in an acting capacity, and most importantly, perhaps training our new leaders. Lieutenants provide seasoned, steady, and mature leadership. Competence, judgment, and decisiveness count. Lieutenants accomplish much, but not all of their mission through their work of their sergeants and their sergeants' squads. And it follows that lieutenants must know their people, their strengths, and where improvement is needed. They must be on scene at times of great crisis. They must guide and sometimes even conduct continuous training for the safety, effectiveness of what we do in advancing the professional knowledge of their officers. They should encourage initiative and support the personal growth of their subordinates like a parent. Throughout it all, they must use just the right amount of supervision to get the job, whatever it is, done right and on time. Commitment is required to look at things honestly and see what needs to be, to work hard at making us better, safer, more effective, and efficient. Good old reliable lieutenants are critically important to those that they lead, those they follow, their families, and very importantly, to the people who call us for help in their time of need. Thank you.
Thank you, John. It's now my pleasure to introduce the individuals being promoted to lieutenant. Brandon Blanco. Brandon has been with our department for approximately 18 years and was promoted to the rank of sergeant in January 2003. As a sergeant, Brandon has served in patrol field training, general investigations, and special investigations. Colby Brandt. Colby has been with our department for almost 17 years and was promoted to the rank of sergeant in 2007. As a sergeant, Colby has served in patrol and supervised the Downtown Neighborhood Response Squad along with the Gateway Community Action Team. Gary Castrovinci. Carrie has been with the department for 16 years and was promoted to the rank of sergeant in 2005. Carrie has served in the K-9 unit as the K-9 unit sergeant for the last 7 years, in addition to serving as a special events and field training sergeant. I will now administer the oath of office. That I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And defend them against all enemies, foreign or domestic. And that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the position of police lieutenant in the Glendale Police Department. But as the family members invited to participate in the pinning ceremony, to please join your lieutenant up front. Lieutenant Blanco's badge is being presented by his wife, Michelle, and daughter, Isabel. Lieutenant Brandt's badge is being presented by his wife, Suzanne, and son, Caden, and daughter, London. Lieutenant Castrovinci's badge is presented by her daughter, Shannon. I present to you the Glendale Police Department's newest lieutenants. This time, I'll turn the podium over to Commander Andre Anderson, who is selected to speak on behalf of commanders.
Wow. All right, Chief. Well, you just had an opportunity to hear from Sergeant Ochoa and Lieutenant Wolf, and given the gravity of the words that they spoke, they've left no doubt that we have exceptional leaders to move us forward in this organization. Fine job. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of our Glendale Police Department and our servant leader, Chief Debbie Black, I am honored to be here to speak to you about the role of commander and what that position means to the Glendale Police Department. But before doing so, I believe it's only equitable, and I think that we should acknowledge the 6 newly promoted sergeants and 3 lieutenants one more time. Can we give them a round of applause again, please? Commander Chris Briggs, you have served the Glendale Police Department for over 20 years with honor and distinction. You have a track record of excellence. You have earned the right to lead and serve as a Glendale commander. So one must ask, what does that role mean? Well, I can tell you this. Your role requires you to provide assistance in planning the overall division activities, our goals, our objectives, and that you effectively integrate our efforts to engage the community while carrying out the chief's vision. But you know what, Chris? You know that. So I choose to remind you of some more important roles as it relates to the role of commander. And that role speaks specifically to the sergeants, the lieutenants, your peers, the chief, your faith, your family, our community, the city of Glendale, and our core values, and not necessarily in that order. Because from this point forward, your role is to find your replacement. Your role is to diligently improve the organization and everyone around you. That is your role. John Quincy Adams once was quoted saying, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and become more, you are a leader." Commander Briggs, your role requires leadership. You are an extension of the chief, empowered to implement cultural change. But remember, change has a long digestive period. It takes persistence. It takes professionalism. It requires you to effectively engage the community, the employees, and build relationships day in and day out. While doing that, you use our mission statement as a platform and a destination point. So I leave you with these parting words, Chris, on behalf of your peers. Don't walk behind us. We may not follow. Don't walk ahead of us. We may not follow. Just walk beside us and be our friend. And let's walk together. On behalf of the organization, I'd like to welcome you to command staff. You have earned it. You have the respect of your peers, the organization. There is no doubt you will serve us well. Congratulations.
Thank you, Andre. Well said. Okay, Chris. It's my pleasure to introduce Chris Briggs. Chris is being promoted from lieutenant to commander. Chris has been with our department for 21 years. He was promoted to the rank of sergeant in 1999 and to the rank of lieutenant in 2005. As a lieutenant, Chris has served in patrol, the Emergency Response Unit, and most recently in the Special Events Unit, which involves the planning and operations of special events, including NFL, NCAA, and NHL games, as well as many city-sponsored events. I will now administer the oath of office. Solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the position of police commander in the Glendale Police Department. I invite Commander Briggs' wife, Mindy, and son, Trenton, and daughter, Reagan, to come forward to pin his badge. I present to you the Glendale Police Department's newest commander. So as we conclude our ceremony, I would like to speak directly to Azadine, Jeff, Don, Matt, Scott, Colby, Brandon, Carrie, and Chris. You have earned the right to stand here today to proudly wear the stripes, the bars, and the stars, and I congratulate you for your accomplishments. As I've said before, I wish I had a book or a manual I could issue you along with that badge that would hold all the answers you'll need as leaders. Unfortunately, no such book exists, but here's what I know. Each one of you embraces our mission to protect the lives and property of the people we serve. And by your words and your actions, you exemplify our values: dedication, integrity, courage, respect, compassion, and excellence. So when you feel unsure, and you will, and when you have a hard decision to make, and you will, make sure that what you are doing furthers our mission and your actions are consistent with our values. That's where you will find all the answers you need. Be good to your people and inspire them to be their best. You'll be just fine. I have absolute confidence in you. You have my support and the support of the entire staff. This ceremony today has been all about you. Enjoy the spotlight, the pats on the back, the hugs, and the handshakes. Enjoy this moment. You worked very hard for it. Tomorrow, however, the real work begins. So one more time, I'm going to ask all of you to step forward. We'll get a group picture, enjoy one more round of applause. And as they make their way up here, I will tell everybody that we have refreshments in the lobby, and the photographer will remain here as long as you would like if you want pictures with family or whatever. And thank you all for being here and sharing in this really special day for us. Thank you. Come on up.